Okay, so this is a retake because the one that I recorded for New Year's Day, the 1st of January 2023, did not happen for some reason. I think I deleted it. So yeah, I think it got deleted by accident. So I'm having to start all over again. It's sort of marked up as pending, but I think I've deleted it anyway. So this is a book that I picked up before we moved. We were packing up to move. We got told we had to move in the the April. And I started packing the beginning of May, literally. And this book I bought when I was in a very dark place, having come out of domestic violence, mental, physical, and financial abuse. So it was really, really hard going on the head. So I've had a lot to deal with, a lot to sort of retrain the brain with, because you get so conditioned to the ways of their thinking. And yeah, you get stuck in a rut. I mean, I'm 3.5 years free from abuse. I've had 5 abusive relationships, one after the other. It's left me with no confidence and low self-esteem, and you sort of get into this mindset of what you're controlled and taught, basically. I mean, when I got rid of the last one that I was with for 5 years, I was a nervous wreck, to be honest. I couldn't think how to do basic things myself, like going to the petrol station, like one of these automated, petrol pumps. I got very, very nervous of how to do it. And there was a lot of things. It's like we had a power cut and the outside lights wouldn't turn off, and how do I do that? Because literally everything was done for me and with control, and I was left financially with nothing at all. I had been given some money due to 2 relatives passing away, not too far close, not too far apart from each other. I was given some money as niece and granddaughter, and I had it all mapped out in my head what I was going to do with it, and save some, spend some. The only good thing I managed to do was get some flooring put down that we've moved, and then I managed to get a couple of items that I wanted, and I did it. But apart from that, my last abuser was very good at sucking away money like a leech. Any money that I had in my purse, whether it was for a bill or whatever, got took, and I could guarantee that it was put on booze. He used to stand behind me when I went to the cash machine, and he used to say, "Oh, I'm blocking people looking over your shoulder," when he was having a good gawp over my shoulder to see exactly what I had in the bank. And he used to take my card. He used to spend on eBay left, right and centre. I had a PayPal. He knew, it was like, "Oh, sign me in, will you, onto your eBay?" And he used to be just having a look, and I could guarantee that when money went in, he spent it. And I had some money put aside in money jars and stuff, that I had for my own personal use. It was nothing to do with him. We lived out in a rural area, so it was very hard sometimes to get cash out. So it became a point of where I used to squirrel money away a little bit in my purse, but then he used to come along and, take it. It didn't matter whether I had a bill or anything. He used to say to me, well, you've got your parents, haven't you? You can ask them for money. So, yeah, it was very hard, especially when you got the gas and electric on these top-up card meter things, you know. And you've got somebody that's taking what money you had in your purse. I never thought that it was called domestic abuse, and it's only when over a period of time I went onto a group and somebody said you need to look up at the narcissist, and this is when I was in hospital. And I looked there was a lady that did lots and lots of vlogging and things, and Angie Atkinson, I mean she's passed away now, but she did a lot of videos that I could relate to instantly, and I thought, oh my god, that sounds like him, that sounds like me, that's what I'm feeling. And then I realised I actually was going through domestic abuse, mental. He used to take me, literally, it got to the point of where I wasn't able to leave the home anymore without him with me. Even when I went to a class or whatever, he was adamant that I was seeing people behind his back, and, you know, it was awful. It was no life. He used to monitor every movement that I made, and it was just vile. What are you doing? So when I basically left, well, I got him out when I realised what it was. I'd been in hospital with sepsis and severe cellulitis, so my leg was like a burnt piece of meat. When I came out of hospital, I knew it was domestic abuse, and I'd reported things to the police. Things never happened, and I needed somebody to be around to help me, because we were stuck out in a rural area for a few months. But I did make it clear that I didn't want to be with him anymore. And then I managed to get him out of my life. The first 6 months was like grieving. It was like grieving over a loss, you know, because you are in some ways still mourning what was of a relationship. It's really hard to explain it to somebody. How can you love somebody that used to mentally crush you? You know, how could you love somebody that forced himself upon you? How could you love somebody that did a lot of things what he did? You can't put it into words. And it took 6 months for me to unravel that bit by bit, to realise I didn't need him, I didn't love him. It wasn't love that he gave me. So, and then that's when I went vegan. I used to be vegetarian. He never liked me eating just a plate of vegetables. And when I picked things up, I could guarantee that they were reduced items when I did find something that I would eat. But he never liked it, and it used to trigger him. And then Veganuary had started. It was halfway through. I remember I went to Weight Watchers, and there was bits and pieces of vegan bits. Sorry, your view's not very interesting. I find it, I can think at the minute a bit better when I've not got the camera facing me. So if Veganuary was well and truly underway. I'd been to Weight Watchers, I nipped into Aldi, and I had a look, and there were some pizzas that were in there that were vegan, and no bacon, and mushroom pizza. I picked that up. I thought that sounds interesting. Funnily enough, I picked another one up this Veganuary. So anyhow, I picked that up, and I picked a few other bits as well, the sausage rolls and something else that was vegan. And I started looking around, because I'd been researching bits on the internet, but he always used to poo-poo it, you know, oh, it's a load of rubbish what they're talking. it's not true. My friend's a pig farmer. This doesn't happen, that doesn't happen, and all the rest of it. But I started looking online and sort of picking and analysing what he actually said was a lie. But I thought, well, how can all these different people suddenly be saying things that are a lie? It's got to be a truth in there somewhere. Then I watched a program called Veganville, and that was it for me. I instantly went vegan, and I cleared out all stuff I didn't want in my fridge and freezer that weren't vegan, that my son wouldn't eat, and I gave it away. So yeah, and then I went vegan from then on. Instantly got rid of everything that wasn't vegan, and I found it so easy to go vegan. Honestly, it's been amazing. Then it got to this where I was into that. My health was worsening, and then once we had to move. When we did move, obviously there was a bit of time, and then I started looking at myself and thinking I needed to start taking care of myself, because I just was neglecting myself left, right and centre. I never wore any makeup. I never wore it. Didn't feel comfortable wearing it. I had a few people laugh at me when I first did apply some makeup, so maybe it didn't look great, but it just really wrapped my confidence. And then when I did try to put some makeup on when I was with my abusive exes, it was always like, there was always a knock-on effect from wearing it, so I never wore it. Who are you wearing that for? What are you doing? Even if I was just going out somewhere just down the town, nothing exciting. But it always had a repercussion, so I never wore it. But when I was getting rid of him, I started, and then when I got rid of him and was on my alone time, I had nobody around. It felt very lonely, even when you've got rid of your abuser, it felt very lonely. And I just decided to overindulge in influencers that did makeup. And I watched Slaying with Jen, started watching Shaky Bonnie, I watched Jules Maben, Shelby Kirk. I watched a few, and I got to sort of go on the online chats and start to know people. And then, of course, there was the vegan activists and people that do their own YouTube channels. Family for Explore being one of them. Grumpy Vegan Grandad. UK Vegan Family, which I don't think they do anything at the moment, really. Yeah, there was a load. Those vegan guys. And I really just sort of got into all that, watching it all. But it was watching a vid on somebody doing makeup, or no, it was the paedophile hunters. I watched one of those. There was a live that was on, and suddenly it ended, and the phone then went on to other things. And the wig wearer, the lady that does wigs that I buy from quite often, she suddenly popped up on a live, and I was really, really shocked that actually that she was wearing a wig. I thought, my God, that's amazing. It doesn't look like a wig. And it felt fab, and I started watching all her lives and things like that, and joined a group, the wig wearers, and before I knew it, I was already starting to wear a bit of makeup. I used to get comments when I went into Asda or whatever, because I used to work at Asda. And it'd be like, oh, you're going to a party, And I'd be like, no, because they've never seen me with makeup on. And I'd be like, no, I'm doing it for me. And it was like, oh, fair enough. And then I started, me with my very thinned head, started then buying my first wig. I hated how I looked. I felt so sort of pale, and I had patches in my hair that were missing, and I didn't feel like me anymore. Not that I knew who me was. And I decided to start wearing the wigs, and the confidence started to grow a little bit. But there's always been that, the taught bits of abuse that have never gone away, that I've always managed to stay with me. I mean, it's like I've got money jars, like little savings pots that you save up so much cash and then you smash them. I've never put money into them because he used to fish money out. Or I'd be desperate for money and I'd have to fish some out with a pair of eyebrow tweezers. So I did things like that to get the money out because I was absolutely desperate. Then I'd hide things away, in socks and whatnot, as well, because he used to take everything that I had. So it was always self-taught, and I, taking the bag to bed with me, it sounds crazy. It's something that you sort of imagine an old person doing, they take the bag upstairs. But I used to take it upstairs to hide it so he didn't pinch from my purse, didn't take money that I had. And it's something that I ended up doing when I moved here. It was like taking the bag to where it felt safe. Hiding things, not putting money in jars. And then it was like with the moving costs, I had no money anyway, but because he'd literally taken every penny that I had. And of course, I've got my benefits and stuff. But anything that I had to fall back on, it disappeared, and I ended up, any debts that I had, which were down as a snowball knock-on effect from those kinds of relationships, it meant that I never had any money. And then when we had to move, I felt absolutely crippled emotionally by the fact that I had no money to fall back on. So it felt like I was constantly drowning. I bought this book to try and sort of make my how I felt inside, sort of feel a bit better, help to retrain. I brought all sorts of things. I brought little cards that you sort of have, like motivational things. I did a therapy course with a group that were to do with domestic abuse, and it was all done online, and we all joined together in Zoom meetings and stuff, which was interesting, but I didn't feel ready. It felt like it was too early for me, and it felt awkward, and sometimes I wanted to hide, and sometimes I hid myself on the camera, sometimes I spoke, sometimes I felt really uncomfortable. But anyway, before we moved, I did have this book, and then I packed it away. I thought it was pointless starting it because I'm too busy with getting ready to move. And then when we moved here, this has been stayed in a box. And I've still got like boxes still waiting to be unpacked. I've got like 4 boxes in the bedroom, and it just feels like chaos in there. I've only ever shown on vlogs, like my makeup vlogs, little areas of my room because it's such a mess. It's horrendous. So anyway, I was happening to go through a few bits. I managed to unpack a bag that I had packed up with bits and pieces in. And in another bag, this journal happened to be sitting there in it. And I thought, oh, right, okay, we're coming up to the 1st of January. What a good place to start. It's like it was meant to be. So this is the Fern Cotton Happy the Journal. I've got the book. I find reading books really hard because with my fibromyalgia, my attention span is like the attention span of a gnat. So I'll just read some of the introduction to you so you can Oh, where's my pen gone? Let me get that before kitten. There we go. I knew you'd be up. The minute I dropped it. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? You're on it. No, I can't see. I don't know. Oh, there it is. Excuse the mess. I've got the lady coming tomorrow. Hang on. What are you doing? Oh, God. Oh, come out of the way. You're going to get squashed. Can I quickly have a swig of coffee? Yeah, let's have a coffee swig. I didn't really want you sitting on the book. That's not the plan. That's not the plan. Good boy. Is it a bit boring? Bit boring. I like you can sit and read it, eh? Right. So this says, welcome to Happy the Journal. Place for you to express, wind down, reflect and take stock of all that's running along in your life. I love how he's sleeping on me. Writing my book, Happy, proved to be the most cathartic process of my life. It has given me the opportunity to admit to myself how I've truly felt, and it opened up others and in turn connected me with a whole new group of people who engaged with my story. Writing, that's what inspired me to turn Happy into a journal. I personally find notepads and journals extremely soothing, as I have a deep need for organisation, and I'm also a bit of a stationery nerd. Once a list has been made, a thought has been written down, I feel like I can make sense of the general craziness in life. Each time my pen hits paper, I feel the jumble in my head straight airing out, clearing space for clarity and calm. I find this... Hang on a minute, I've got to take my glasses off, weirdly enough, to be able to read it better. Oh, now I can't see it all. Yes, all right. Oh, God, I'm not doing very well here. I find this makes for a much happier approach to most situations in life. No matter whether it's something that has already happened that's traumatic to recall, or if we're heading towards a situation we're worrying about in the future. Having experienced certain spells of darkness in my life, I've tried pretty much every tactic out there to combat lurking feelings of worry or dread, and writing has become my main source of alleviation. Sometimes I don't really know how I feel about a situation until I've started writing. The process opens up a deeper honesty within me and allows me to clearly process and distinguish my thoughts. Writing is my therapy, a calm magic spell to help relieve the tension that spins around in my head. This simple luxury doesn't work with huge traumas in life and small mundane worries. It's also a good way of taking a moment to appreciate the good stuff. Getting the whirlwind of thoughts out of your head and onto the page not only frees up more mental space for the positives in life, but also helps you to find and focus on them. This is what this book is about. Consider this your portable friend who is ready for action, with lots of blank space for you to make your own. You can also make it completely bespoke to you and your life. This book is made of sturdy stuff. It can take your most horrific admissions, it can listen to your most terrifying fears, and it can shield the most toe-curling secrets. It won't tell anyone, it won't judge, and it won't make your problems worse. You can tattoo its pages freely, and it'll carry that weight for you and help you process what you need to. Enjoy every minute of scrolling on its blankness and reap the benefits along the way. And then it's like, if you're experiencing a mental health problem of any kind, you can contact Mind. And there's the website and information line, which I shall pause on there for a second. Right then. Hang on. How to use this book. Use this book however you like. It's your canvas to do with as you will. If you want to, you can use the pointers and inspiration on each entry to help you reflect on how you're feeling and to project you in the direction of clarity and happiness. Each month is themed as we move through the year. There's changing seasons and moods, concentrating on topics that I've been investigating on my own journey. You'll also find space to write down whatever you fancy. It could be a diary entry of what happened that day, a thought or concern, or perhaps a small moment that made you smile. It's completely up to you. At the bottom of each entry is a blank face where you can draw a mouth that depicts how you feel, such as, there we go, perhaps an inane grin or cheeky smile, maybe a puzzled scorn or downward grimace. Use them to help you access how you've been feeling when looking back over the month. And at the end of each month, you'll find space to look over the days before and record all the things you're grateful for and that made you happy. This book is about all self-care and you time, so dip into its pages as often and for as long as you like. Whilst this book is open, it's all about you. Have fun and good luck. So that's that. That's the introductory. And then January, which I just thought was a perfect time to start this. I know. What? Come here, darling. Come on, it's all right. You're not comfortable. You're not comfortable now, are you? And it says, hello, New Year. Once the potential hangover has passed and the Christmas decorations are down, there lies a whole year ahead of us. This can be very exciting, totally daunting too. How might we change things from last year? What do we want the next 12 months to look like? It's all up for grabs. January is the perfect time for starting over. The drama and thrill of December is over, so we perhaps all feel that bit more peaceful and subdued. We can plot, think and plan to make things more peaceful and happy and manifest our dreams. I usually start my year with a cosmic order list where I state what I will see happening in the next 12 months. I don't write the list as wishes, I write it down like it will happen. This is not a flash of sweeping arrogance or even expectation. It's more about clearly visualising the dreams I have and putting them out there into the universe. I know they may not all come true to fruition, and I'm actually aware that life doesn't always pan out how you want it to, but I believe starting your year with a positive mindset and clear head is a good way to start. January is all about moving forward and newness. Focus on that feeling of new, of opportunity and excitement, and let's see where it takes you. Hello, January. Let's do this. So, I decided to do a list. I know it might be impossible to read my pigeon scrawly writing, but I shall read through my 1st of January plan. So I've got financial goals, stress at the minute. That's how the house to pay it off, a bit at a time, just take it. It says time for that cosmic order list. Write out your wish list for the year ahead. Not as wishes, but if it will happen. Let's start the year in a positive way. So yeah, number 1, dents made in repaying off what I owe in no order. So Santander overdraft, which is currently $650, a goal of 400 overdraft. And then I want to get down some more and eventually just pay it off. I did have my overdraft paid off when I had some money given me through a relative that passed away. My mum, sorted things out, so I had some money. And I paid it off, which was great. It was a great feeling. But then my abuser decided to keep dipping and spending through eBay and stuff. So I had nothing. So it's basically back to square one. Curry's account to be paid off. Well, I've got a couple of items that because I had no money because I was using what money I had for costs to move. And final bills and all that sort of stuff when you're due to move. It was all spend. And I desperately needed a few white goods, not expensive white goods. They were the cheaper end of the scale. But I put them on a Curry's account that I had and thought, yeah, it'd be easy to pay off. I also had my son's computer, which when he was doing virtual learning with lockdown and everything, it was like he had to have a computer. He didn't have anything and was really struggling with his coursework. So I got a computer. I've paid that off, which was the most fantastic feeling to say, hey, it's ours at last, it's his. And then I've got, a few bits and pieces now to pay off. but they are going down in the right direction. But it just seemed like a never-ending bill, if you like, because that's what it is. It's a loan, isn't it? The power chair, again, same reason. This power chair here that I've got, I was absolutely desperate. My chair that I had was literally, you could only get down the road on the battery that it had, and it was out of juice. The wheels were literally disintegrating on it. They were all worn out. It was a second-hand power chair that I got. And I wasn't going to spend any money on it because all the parts and things were hard to come by. So anyway, I went into Able World, and a lady suggested there that I get one on finance. I actually had my chair that was coming through from the wheelchair services, but she says for one for in the home, you're going to want something simple and basic, you know, that you can get through nice and easy, you know, doorways. You're not going to be stuck, because that one is a big one and it's great, but not for indoors. It's not very practical. So yeah, I'm paying this off, and I want to just get in charge of it and, you know, get it sorted, so it's not a never-ending payment as well. Holiday to be paid, can't wait for that. I just want to pay it, so it's not sitting months down the line and suddenly it's like, oh my god, the holiday's here and I've still got X amount to pay off like I did last year. And then Lloyd's overdraft, which I will tackle once the Santander one has been nicely lowered. I want to do one at a time. Too much, doing two at once would be too much. So bit by bit, I just want to do little goals. Okay, then I put number 2, my bedroom to be beautiful and somewhere I can relax in. No boxes. At the minute, it's just a war zone in there. It's horrendous. My cleaner's supposed to be going in there tomorrow to have a bit of a clean around. God knows it's going to be an absolute horrendous time because there's just so much everywhere. But she seems to like a challenge, so she's got one. Number 3, new bed, something I dream of rather than sleeping on the sofa. This is my bed as well as the sofa. I've got a mattress underneath me, and I've got pillows all up at one end, and it's a nightmare, to be honest. It's hard to sleep on this. It doesn't stay on the sofa very well. Hello, another one. Everybody wants to sleep with me today. Don't sit there, that's right in the way. Really, really good. Right, you plonk your bum there, maybe. Yeah? So that's that. And I just dream of having a new bed, a double bed, so I can really stretch out, and I'm able to sort me out. You know, I can, because my knee joint been twisted, so it's like I need the extra space to be comfortable. Coming underneath, you know. And then money jars for the cleaner, window cleaner and carer. So it's like I've got their money put up, so I'm never sort of really looking for their money and panicking when they're next due. What if I haven't got enough and having to put them off? And when I need them, you know, it's people I do need. Number 5, decorating, renovations and adaptations. The big things I desperately need. So my kitchen, the ramp, etc. Yeah, it's just waiting on those, and then hopefully that will be shortly. You know, they'll get in touch, because at the minute we're on a January bank holiday, aren't we? An unofficial one, 2nd of January. So it's a case of waiting and seeing and hoping that I'm next on the list. But it is something that will happen, and I can't wait. So yeah, I can't wait to put my stamp on the place. You know, I've got wallpaper that's sitting in boxes ready to go. I need to get the paint sorted out and get someone to actually do the job as well. And then I know that I did a separate one for the 2nd of February. Little face. He's like blinded. So yeah, 2nd of January, I've just written, I know I've started on the 3rd here. Remember, big dreams might seem scary or out of reach, but visualising them clearly is the start of making them happen. Payments are due out any day, so one less to pay out. Looking up how many payments and how much I owe, I can visualise on an end goal. So then it's like I've looked up how much left to pay of the courier's account. So I've just looked into one. So I've got 3 white goods, which I thought had 2 to pay off. So I've got the electric cooker, my freezer and the fridge freezer. And then I've looked and wrote down how many payments are left to pay, what's the total. So the cooker, the tall freezer, and then the fridge freezer, I'm down to the last couple. So that's nice. So I'm going to sort out the end payments of the fridge freezer once the money's been taken out. And I'm going to get that paid off. So that'll be one ticked off. And then I'll split the payments, so it'll be half on one, half on another, over the next few months, and it'll be done, hopefully. So that's that. I'll leave tomorrow. What are you doing? That's the cat. So yeah. So it's a start. So I've given myself a smiley face for today because it's like I've actually started on this journey of happy thoughts and everything, and the fact that there's one payment that's like literally going to be obliterated in the next couple of days. Hey, it's a nice feeling, to be honest. So that's one down, and then as soon as I get the second one out the way, I'll feel such a relief. Yeah, that'll be nice. So yeah, I just thought I'd share with you. I won't obviously keep checking in every single day for the whole year. But I'll probably do it for the first week or so maybe, and then keep checking in every now and again. So you've got an idea of things, and it may help somebody else. Somebody might think that's watching this, do you know what, I might give that a go myself. Yeah, and just do it, because it's so simple to do, and it has just given me that little bit of a motivation really to get all this looked at, analysed, and think, do you know what, I want to get that done and that done this year, get this paid off, get it out the way. And it's just a great feeling to see it all written down, and I'm more positively thought out. I've got a money jar set up with my care person's money in it, which is just over there. It's not very easy to see in this light, but yeah, so that's done. So that's something else that I'm starting now. So it's nice just to see small goals actually being done. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to go, but I just thought I would redo this vid. Sorry for some of it that you've got wouldn't have a very interesting view, but I can think more clearly sometimes when the camera's not pointing on me. Yeah, so here's to a much more positive me, and a weight off my shoulders with some of this financial shit that's going on. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Look at him, he's falling asleep on my wrist. Little bugger, him, he's so heavy. Right. Did I wake you up? That cheeky bugger. Right, I shall love and leave and catch you again soon. Bye.